The other sort of semi-related issue was the decision by the government to start processing Afghan asylum seekers once again. I think what they discovered along the way is that by stopping the processing didn't really stop the numbers. And
well, there's 2,200 that have Afghans in detention, and to stall the process like this, which was clearly just to appease people in the lead up to the election, or to those sections of the community that are unhappy about asylum seekers, has now led to an overflowing of the detention centres. Chris Bowen got up in Parliament and said that he believed that a lot of these applications were now not going to be seen to be valid. How he can preempt that is anybody's guess. And what we send them back to a country that is quite clearly in a ferocious state. The whole thing smacks of just in breach of our international obligations.
What strikes me as weird is that this is in fact an argument for the very thing that the Labor Party has been so against, and that is temporary protection visas, where you issue a visa, you say, look, we don't know what the situation, it looks a bit unsafe at the moment, you can stay here until we resolve it or it's resolved, and then, depending on, we send you back or we keep you in. In fact, that's what Labor has done. They've done that. They've, for 6 months, have said, no, we're not sure whether we'll send you back. We think it might be safe. We're not sure. 6 months, we're going to freeze everything, but we won't give you a temporary protection visa. We'll keep you in the detention centre.
I think that's actually right, and that it is it was an appalling policy decision. All it's done is clog up the detention centres. Look where they're heading. I mean, they're heading to trouble and strife
We get
in
back
these
to where we're going
overcrowded
to be.
detention centres.
Self-mutilation.
And, you know, hey, you can argue that it's safe to send people back.
What did you make of Scott Morrison's remarks? He was talking about the makeup of the Afghans who make this trip on the boats. Have a look at this.
What our troops are doing in Afghanistan at the moment is training Afghans, males aged between about 18 and 35, to help make their country a safe place for all of their citizens, free of persecution. And that's something that I think is a very admirable and noble task that we're very committed to. And a lot of the people who are coming on these boats are aged in that same range.
So is he saying there that they've got a responsibility to stay and fight?
Yeah, he's saying they're weak cowards and they should stay and fight and look after their own country.
I don't think he quite said that.
But that's the implication, isn't it?
But I don't think he quite said that. I think there's a way to phrase that argument without going completely over the top. I mean, we've had this argument before in other places, you know, in other wars. Who's responsible for putting their country back on a firm footing?
Yes, but it begs the question of what's going on in that country in terms of persecution. Are there groups of people being persecuted or not?
They're Hazaras, and a lot of those Hazaras are in villages where if they stayed, they'd be slain by the Taliban. That's
even
the end
if they are aged between 18 and 35.
Well, they're the target. They're the target from the Taliban.
But again,
so,
you know, is all Afghanistan a place of persecution for them, or can they be safe, say, in Kabul or the northern Afghanistan? These are the questions asked. I was in Rwanda, where they had a similar decision to make about what to do with refugees. Hutu, Tutsis, the Hutu eventually got pushed out into the neighbouring borders. The government there said, right, all you back again and build the country. They forced them all back, almost at gunpoint. But, you know, the thing is, it worked.
Yeah, but maybe you can't also then just imply that every person of that age group has a role too in the security forces of the country.
You're right, but it's about obligations to them. What are our obligations?
We have to move on. More with our panel shortly. Fran Kelly, Kerry-Ann Walsh and Andrew Bolt. And now here's Mike Bowers and Talking Pictures.